Hey Taz, here's some feedback, which you all deserve for, interacting so well and producing like a great workshop yesterday and some feedback amongst your two pharmacists and an engineer walking into a bar scenario. It was great. So nice to see it. This is easy for me to do, and it's a good start for our course interactions here. So Taz, I'm recording this, and you can see my screen, and I have mostly good things to say about your resume. Um, it's a little crowded though overall, so it's kind of hard to scan at times. When I scan it, I see mostly the same things you all noted on your wiki page. But of course, the GPA also stands out. It's easy to scan through your education in terms of where you went. Um, the skills uh, are maybe a little bit long-winded at times, so they're kind of hard to like in the skills section itself to pick some out that stand out, but like leadership does and interpersonal skills does. Methodical researcher stood out to me, and I would say honor society. So you're just seeing like a in the snapshot, somebody who's probably going to get past the scan because they're excellent students and they've got soft skills that they're trying to promote. So I think you're kind of doing the right thing. Now I want to what sections stand out to me. Um, I'll start with the education section. Actually, I'm just going to work my way down. But education and skills stand out to me as the two key sections because you're trying to make that skills section stand out. Like you don't have to do that. You could have a work experience and skills section where you're trying to show off slightly more select skills, but you're really laying on the skills kind of heavy, which I think will help us tighten up the resume a little bit. But the objective section, first of all, let's cut it down to two sentences, or two lines, not two sentences necessarily. It could just be one sentence. Um, so you say to provide the healthcare community with superior service, assist customers with the first part before assist customers with their healthcare needs is a little generic, right? Um, or you could just tighten it up by saying something like, to join, you know, this healthcare provider or this healthcare team in assisting with their goals in customer healthcare needs, um, including yada yada yada. So it's like, you know, you can just cut the first part for one, and you can cut words like um, utilize my skills and knowledge. Just say to assist in or to work in, or even like more personally, to work with you in a fast paced, to work in your fast paced and efficient and organized environment, right? As a pharmacy specialist. So just kind of personalize it to the job, tighten it up by putting that first bit in some of the generic utilize my skills language. Education section, if you want to keep it in this order, it's fine, or you can flip it and make it reverse chronological. It's going to be impressive either way and do the same thing. You can take the graduation date bullet point and just put it beside. Um, you can use it to replace present, 2015 to 2020, right? That saves you some space, and it's a cramped resume at the moment, so that helps in that section. So that's only a design concern and an ordering concern for you there, but either way works. So again, the skills section, you're probably trying to do a bit too much. Um, like mastery in electronic communication is the thing that kind of makes me giggle. Like I don't know what that is. You're trying to say that tout your communication skills in different ways. Um, People always say they're proficient in Microsoft Office applications. In this case, you might need to. Um, I like the skillful, logical, and empathetic problem solver. Um, but yeah, it's great. Maybe just either skillful or logical there, just to tighten it up a bit. And the other unusual one is skilled in memorization with excellent recall. I'm interested in hearing about your memory palace that you built so far this semester, or how you use like a 29 card system. So anyway, I'm interested in that stuff, but I think it's cool because it's kind of quirky and it'll stand out. So maybe keep it. Um, you could probably just say skills in memorization. Refined professional communication, highly organized and efficient, methodical researcher. Um, highly organized and efficient is probably redundant at this point too. Methodical researcher is great. Leadership excellence is great. Interpersonal skills is great. This is, so you're making some cuts here that'll probably take out 3, right? Which maybe gets you down to just 2 columns in the middle, because it's also like pushing you pretty far to the left here. You'd like to see just like one line along here, not this line over to here in the skill section. Hopefully you can see my mouse, hopefully, in the video. Yeah, so that'll make kind of a change. That might even allow you to make the font a little bit bigger, because the font, it seems pretty small. It's 11. Let's try to get it to 12, but you'll pass at 11. I'll give you a C. I'm just kidding. Um, Yeah, I don't think. Okay, let's try to get this down to 1 line. Design community projects to improve Hamtramck. Could you just put the term? Could you just say design community improvement projects and put Hamtramck up here after your General Motors internship? Improved and maintain city parks to ensure a cleaner, healthier, and beautiful environment. Organize a quality task. Okay, again, maybe a little bit of tightening. This one's pretty great. You dropped a verb here though. Keep a verb there. It looks weird otherwise if you just say greeted, stalked, trained, answered, completed, and then cashier. Like, you know, served as a cashier or worked as a cashier. Pretty generic, but that's fine. Yeah, looking good. If the references are too crowded on here, you can take them out. You don't have to have a reference section, because right now you're using every little millimeter of this. Yes, that was metric of this page. So now your team showed some pretty good strategizing here, and to piggyback on that, I think you're right, and you're 3/4 of the way there. You just want now to be able to say that your cover letter is working hand in hand with your resume, right? So in the cover letter, you're doing that. You just need to sort of talk about how you're doing that in one of these key paragraphs. So let me give it a quick read again, then I'll come back. So I think people will really like the way you're presenting yourself as a quick learner and an active listener, and promoting your communication skills in the context of the pharmacy specialist position. And yeah, there's not much to say. I really like it. If you can find any redundancy or anything to sort of scale back, you can. Again, you're sort of trying to fit in as much as possible. And this is something I typically do as well, and often read it, especially if I read something like 6 months later, I can cut it back by 1/3 to 1/2 and feel like that it's significantly better. You don't have to go that far by any stretch, but if you feel like you're repeating yourself, please feel free to cut, and I'll be happier to see that you tried to do that, at least put in the effort there. For instance, the last paragraph is pretty similar, or could be cut probably in half, by saying something like, so instead of saying, I understand that you will receive a large number of applicants for this position, you might say that I, as one of presumably many applicants for this position, believe that my motivation and commitment will stand out in your amongst applicants. And just simply, you said the rest there. You just might jump right into, I would very much appreciate the opportunity to meet with you and discuss my application and interview. That's it. That's all you need to say there, right? I don't think you're losing anything. It would be harder, obviously, to scale back on these larger paragraphs, and you don't need to do too much of that, really. The last thing is, if you can, lead in this first paragraph with a little bit more about the kind of work they do, rather than just saying it's fast-paced and customer service environment with administrative tasks. Show that you understand what's working there and how you've come to understand it a little bit, by studying what they do, or thinking carefully about what you think they're gonna do there. Okay, so great work. I'll talk to you soon. Hope that helped.